Our first step is going to be creating the file scaffolding needed for the color module to work. And the easiest way to create this scaffolding is to borrow from another theme. Because we're using a sub-theme of Bartik, it makes sense to copy this scaffolding from the Bartik theme. And we can find it inside of the color folder inside of the Bartik theme. So go ahead and copy that. We're going to copy the entire folder. And we're going to paste it inside of our themes, bat overrides, inside of our sites directory in its entirety. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the files that are inside of this folder, one by one. This first file is called base.png, and it's used as a basis for creating the gradient that you see at the top of Bartik. And it needs a base image in order to generate that, so this is what that is. It looks like just a plain white image when you open it up. Color.inc includes a set of configuration options for the color module to use. Let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at what's inside. So if we scroll down, we can get a feel for the length of this. It's all one single array. And at the very top, there's a Drupal add.js, which is adding a setting. And what it's doing is grabbing the theme setting for the logo file for Bartik and pulling that in to our JavaScript setting so that it can then be used by the color module. And then this info array includes a set of specific key value pairs that includes information about each color selector. The fields is a list of colors, and it specifies a name as the key and the title of that selector, or the label that appears next to it, as the value. And then it goes down to schemes, which is a set of default schemes that can be used. Let me go ahead and jump to the browser and we can take a look at what those schemes look like. Here we're in the Bartik theme settings page, and you can see here that we have this color set, and we can choose from Blue Lagoon, Firehouse, Ice Plum, Slate, and Custom. And this corresponds to the schemes that you see in this file. So we have the default, which is Blue Lagoon. It has the title, and it sets colors for each one of the colors in the color scheme. And as we scroll down, we'll see Firehouse includes a title, and then all of the colors associated with that. And as we keep scrolling down, we see one for Ice, one for Plum, and one for Slate. And then there's the custom one that gets added that allows us to choose our own custom colors. As the next key, we have CSS, which is an array of CSS files that will get pulled into the color module when the theme settings page is submitted and saved. And these files will get run through that process, which takes all of the default colors and replaces them with the custom color settings, and then outputs that out into a CSS file. And so you see here that we can add multiple CSS files if we wanted to. The Bartik theme uses just one, and it's in the colors.css file. I'm going to go ahead and scroll down. There's copy, which is the set of files that should be copied from the theme into the location where the CSS files are getting output. And this is so that the paths to particular images are correct. We have a set of information about gradients, what dimensions, what direction, and colors to use. We'll likely do another video on gradients, but we're going to sort of gloss over it now since it's probably the most complex part of the color module. The fill option allows you to create a set of elements, image-based elements, based off of a color that's selected in the color selector, specifying X, Y, the width, and height. And slices are similar, except instead of using a background color, you use a slice of an image, for example. The blend target is the background color that matches the base.png file that we talked about in order to create a gradient. And then these are the preview files. So that preview that we see on the theme settings page under the color selectors uses three files: the CSS file, which includes the CSS for the preview, and we'll look at that; the preview.js, which takes care of switching out the colors when the colors change on the page; and then the HTML, which is responsible for generating the structure of the preview. And then finally, we set the base image, which is the base file for image generation. Okay, let's go ahead and jump to the next file. The next file is called preview.css, and this contains all of the CSS that's used in the preview under the color changing options on the theme settings page. If we open it up, we'll see that most of the definitions begin with preview. And the reason for this is that they want to delineate between the styles that are used in the theme in general and the styles that are used throughout the preview in particular. Let's go ahead and jump back to the directory. Preview.html contains the HTML for the preview. If we open it up, we'll see that it's got just simple HTML, and at the very top is div ID equals preview, and it creates a virtual mini site that exposes the major theme elements that are going to be colored. So there's the header, logo, site name, a menu, and then a sidebar with a block inside of the sidebar, and then content with a title and a preview. As we scroll down, there's code for the footer as well. So when we add an element inside of this preview in order to demonstrate our new color for the background of inputs, we're going to add it inside of this HTML file.